All right, we have problem 13 for our ECT practice test from 2023 and 2024. At his job, the first 40 hours that Thomas works is regular time and additional time is overtime. He gets paid $15 an hour for regular time. During overtime, he gets paid 1.5 times as much as he gets paid during regular time. Okay, Thomas works 46 hours for the week. He gets $117 in deductions taken out of his pay. If you don't know deductions, it's like taxes. Okay, so after the deductions are taken out, how much of Thomas's pay for the week remains? So in other words, let's say Thomas makes $200. The deductions will take away $117, and his actual pay, the remaining pay, will be $200 minus $117, which equals $83. So we'd have $83 remaining for that hypothetical situation. Now, we know he gets paid $15 an hour for the first 40 hours. He actually worked 46, so 46 is greater than 40, right? Yes, it is. So he gets overtime pay because there is 6 hours, 46 minus 40, 6 hours over his regular time. So the first thing we have to do is calculate his actual pay for the 40 hours, okay? We have two parts of this equation. So we have 40 times however many hours he worked, or his rate of pay, 40 times his rate of pay, normal rate of pay. We're going to define some variables here. Let's have x represent his rate of pay, the standard one. So it's not overtime, this is the first 40 hours. We'll have y equal his pay for overtime, rate of pay overtime. Okay, so we know that he makes 15 for his standard rate of pay, so his standard rate of pay equals 15. We know his overtime pay is 15 times 1.5. This is able to be used, you can use your calculators on this section, so you could just do 15 times 1.5. We'll do that with our calculator. 15 times 1.5 equals 22.5. Okay, then we can set up our equation. We have everything we need. So his pay, his total pay, will equal, this is his total pay before deductions, equals the hours he worked first, 40 hours, times his regular rate of pay, which is x, plus his overtime hours worked, which is 6, times his overtime rate of pay. Okay, so this represents the hours he worked, standard, times his standard rate of pay, they go together, plus we're adding on his hours worked overtime, plus his overtime rate of pay. That's going to equal our total pay. Total pay. Now we know that x and y, well, that's easy. They're 15 and 22.5. So we do 40 times 15 plus 6 times 22.5. We can use our calculators to solve that. 40 times 15 plus 6 times 22.5. This is a really good use of our calculator. We get 735. It's a good use of our calculator because it's saving us time, right? It's saving us time. We're still setting up the equation. We still understand the math. We're not just guessing on our calculator. We're setting up an equation, using our calculator to solve it precisely. So we have 735. Is that the answer? No. Remember, we have deductions. We have to subtract 117. You can do that by hand if you'd like, but I'm just going to use a calculator because it's saving you some time. So subtract 117. If you didn't know this trick, you could just click equals. Oops, excuse me. So 735 is here. We have a little space here. So if you have this TI-84 plus CE, most people do have that. We just click minus, and that'll do our answer minus 735. So watch, if I do minus 117, which is what we want. Oop, not 4, 117. It gives us 618. If I just do 735 though, minus 117, we get the same answer of 618. So nice little trick for you. That's gonna equal 618, which is our answer, which is D. Remember to subtract off the deductions after. That is an extra step they add to the problem to make sure you're actually answering the problem they're asking. Again, for math, it's super important. After the deductions are taken out, we're actually answering the question asked, not just his gross pay, but how much after deductions remains. The answer is D, 618.